Should I start Brian Thomas or Devonta Smith? And the fact that you have to bench one of these guys and ask this question is just shows you how week 5 is insane in the NFL season any other time. Where do you fall on this, Adam? Because this is one of 2 disappointing wide receivers that no one can quite seem to get a handle on.
Yeah, and this is one where I agree wholeheartedly with what Chase has in his notes. Or I have Thomas, he has Thomas. But the reasoning is exactly what he had to say, which is that the targets are there for Brian Thomas. Like, they're utilizing him. They are running the routes for him to be involved. He is an involved player in this offense, and it's an offense that has been largely as efficient. Like, everyone's in shambles in the fantasy world because, the passing options, Brian Thomas in particular, but, also other guys like haven't been as involved as we'd like, but it's been a solid offense. The rushing offense is like number 3 or something like that in the NFL. Like, they've been good and they are throwing the ball. He has the targets. This is just something for Brian Thomas that I have a really hard time believing continues. I know everyone's frustrated. I know it sucks, but I have a hard, the things with Devonta will not change. The things with Brian Thomas might.
Agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, first of all, for this week, Brian Thomas is coming to my wide receiver 22, Devonta Smith my wide receiver 29. And honestly, they would both be wide receiver 3s if it wasn't for 4 teams on bye this week. So that does say something to the Brian Thomas point of it all. But kind of to your point, right now, his expected fantasy points in half-point PPR leagues would be 13.4. And while that's still not quite what you're looking for out of what some people drafted as a first-round draft pick, he's only performing at 7.5 points per game at the moment. So that kind of encompasses what you said as far as the usage is there where this could get corrected still, 100%. For Devonta, on the other hand, he's performing his 7.4 average points per game is at his expected level. That's what's the problem. Like, the Eagles' offense right now, passing-wise, is broken. 100%. And maybe we'll talk more about that later, but I want to finish up on Brian Thomas real quick. The problem for Brian Thomas is not Brian Thomas. It's not Liam Cohen. The problem is Trevor Lawrence. I think we've gone past the point of, is Trevor Lawrence a bust or not? I think we're entering the conversation, is Trevor Lawrence a bum or not? Second worst in completion over expected, 10th worst in EPA per dropback, 4th worst quarterback rating. Only Jake Browning, Cam Ward, and Joe Flacco have a worse rating than Trevor Lawrence right now. That's how bad he is. So if you look at me like, oh, we can't have a conversation about, is he a bum? We're having a conversation about, is he a bum? The bus conversation went out the window a long time for me. And I know he's been through coaching changes and everything else, but what sticks out to me the most is not once have I seen Trevor Lawrence improve his fundamentals in any capacity, and it shows on the field. Not one time.